Respect, bro.
Great work.
Appreciate it.
Great work. It was good.
I'm going to train again. Easy.
There is a saying, I would say, there's a saying that a happy fighter makes a dangerous fighter, in the sense that if you put them in the right environment and their brain is receptive of what they're being taught, they're going to be more in tune with what they're going through.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
So I'm actually like, give me more, give me more, give me more.
That's his mindset in everything he does, whether it's training, whether it's work, whether it's helping other people.
With fight night just days away, one thing is already clear. Anthony Joshua is fully locked in. Everything coming out of his camp points to a fighter treating this bout with absolute seriousness. No shortcuts, no distractions. Just a former unified heavyweight champion preparing like his reputation, legacy, and future depend on it.
You know, so I use YouTube a lot, where there's a lot of videos what I listen to, and I update it, and I can always revert back to it when I'm feeling low to get a bit of motivation. Fear comes in many forms. There's some things that I can't get over and I'll always be scared of, but I take the positive from it. Like, I'm never so confident I'm going to win. It's probably the fact that I'm scared to fail.
Coaches aren't meant to understand that you're tired. Coaches aren't meant to understand that you have emotions. Coaches are just supposed to look at you like you're a machine, and they just want results. I may be tired, but I just got to bite down on my gum shell, because if I can perform to an elite level when I'm tired, imagine what I can do when I've got rest and when I've got energy. I've been through them days where I'm looking for sympathy, and you just don't get it in sport, but you don't get it. I always knew there could be the most talented fighter out there, especially in our industry. If they can't sell tickets, they can't put bombs on seats, they'll never showcase their skills to the world, no matter how good they are. And that's why I say you have to have marketability and you have to have ability. And when you bring those two worlds together, it's a recipe for success.
There's no casual tone in camp, no exhibition mindset. What we're seeing instead is relentless preparation. Joshua is fine-tuning his conditioning, sharpening his combinations, and committing to a disciplined, pressure-heavy game plan. This isn't about headlines or novelty. It's about timing, control, and making sure there are zero loose ends when the bell rings.
To stay humble means treat the person who is beneath you in a different class to the same person who's above you in a different class. It's an equal playing field, and we have to treat everyone with the same respect. And that's why, you know, people fight for equality. And I think that's important, and that's why I mix stay hungry and stay humble together in such a fine way that they gel together well. Stay hungry, stay humble.
Joshua understands the scale of this moment. The stage is massive. The spotlight is unforgiving. Expectations are sky high. And that's exactly why his approach has been strictly business. Every session, every round, every adjustment reflects a fighter who knows there's no margin for error.
That's it, and again. Good, and again. Good, 2 more. 1 more of them. Good.
You have to find it within yourself. If I've got to tell you to get up, and I've got to tell you to go to work, and I've got to tell you to do everything, then until that person stops telling you, you're never going to be able to achieve anything. So that's the best piece of advice I've been given, is find it within yourself to be motivated. You've been blessed with a brain, heart for emotions, spiritual connection.
As the countdown shortens, the message from AJ's camp couldn't be clearer. He's not easing into this moment. He's going all in, determined to leave nothing to chance when he steps into the ring. On the other side, Jake Paul is also deep in preparation. His camp has emphasized heavier sparring partners, sharper movement, and extended rounds as he readies himself for the biggest test of his boxing career.
there's very clear paths to being able to beat Anthony Joshua. Something about him. I was supposed to fight Gervonta and then go and fight Joshua maybe next year. When Gervonta got into his whole fiasco, Joshua was one of the first names on the list. I would say he's definitely was surprised and maybe thought I was just all talk and not actually wanting to do it and just saying it for hype. I think that's what a lot of people think when I say crazy things like fighting Canelo or Bud or Joshua. So I think he was actually surprised to get the deal done.
The confidence in Jake Paul's camp remains high, but the work itself tells a deeper story, one rooted in awareness. Longer rounds, tighter defense, constant emphasis on surviving pressure. With the clock ticking down, the focus has shifted away from talk and toward readiness. This isn't just another crossover moment. This is a fight that will define how seriously Jake Paul's boxing journey is taken.
I don't want to ask you about a prediction for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua because I think a lot of people know what will happen, but is it dangerous for Jake Paul to be taking on a big heavyweight? You're a heavyweight, man. I wouldn't want to get punched by you here. Is it very dangerous for Jake Paul to be taken?
I mean, no matter what it is, it can be an exhibition fight or whatever fight it is. When two guys step over that rope and they got bad intentions or they ready to throw blows, it's always bad. You got to understand that boxing is a dangerous business and the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. Doctors will always tell you the head is not meant to be hit. The body is not meant to be hit. The head is not meant to be, the brain is not meant to be.
As both camps enter the final stretch, the wider boxing conversation has sharpened as well. On TalkSport, Jim White, Simon Jordan, and Ad Oladipo framed the bout as a collision between spectacle and consequence. With the fight just a week away in Miami, the panel acknowledged the massive commercial pull, while questioning how such a matchup was sanctioned, pointing to Florida's reputation for approving unconventional contests. Jordan argued that Jake Paul's position is driven more by commercial influence than sporting merit, stressing that while Paul brings audiences and subscriptions, the competitive gap between him and a former unified heavyweight champion remains enormous.
If AJ was fighting an area level heavyweight now, it wouldn't go beyond a round. I'd expect AJ to get rid of him, let alone AJ being 40 pounds heavier. The Americans look at AJ slightly different to how we do. They look at him as someone that's washed up. When he was in their country, he got beat by Andy Ruiz, who's not gone on to do anything. If Andy Ruiz went on to have this glittering career, then it maybe would have made that defeat look a lot bigger. They watched him recently get defeated by Daniel Dubois. They think he's done. So they don't have respect for him maybe the way we do over here. So Jake thinks he can win. I've been around Jake and he's delusional, but he's very strong-minded. So he thinks he can win, but there's no way this should go beyond 3 minutes.
Who's the A side? Who walks into the ring first?
AJ walks into the ring first, so Jake Paul's there.
Jim White guided the discussion toward the financial realities, explaining why elite fighters accept these opportunities. Ad Oladipo balanced the debate by recognizing Paul's impact on boxing visibility and modern promotion. Despite their differing angles, the panel agreed on one thing: this is a real fight with real risk. And if Joshua fails to dispatch Paul decisively, it could disrupt carefully mapped future plans. Curiosity will drive massive viewership, but once the bell rings, boxing's unforgiving hierarchy is expected to reassert itself.
I think I heard you mention there are two behemoths involved here. How is Jake Paul a behemoth?
He's a behemoth in terms of his following and in terms of the pulling power he has. He's now, whether hardcore boxing fans want to admit this, he's one of the faces of boxing. And that's saying something. Like the amount of people that put their hands up to want to fight Jake Paul when they realised the Gervonta Davis fight weren't happening. He can, like Alexander Usyk says he wants to fight him. Like that's the one of the biggest names in the sport. There aren't that many people.
You love this sport, Addy, and you love working in it. Is it an uncomfortable truth, if you like, that Jake Paul is part of the top flight boxing scene?
That discussion naturally spilled into reactions from fighters themselves, most notably Michael Bisping. Responding to a growing number of high-profile predictions backing Jake Paul, Bisping made his disbelief clear. While acknowledging how surreal the matchup feels, he rejected the idea that Joshua could be knocked out by a YouTuber-turned-boxer. Bisping pointed to comments from Tyson Fury, who claimed he backed Paul for a knockout, and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who suggested Joshua's past stoppage losses show vulnerability.
First of all, we had Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, a tremendous world champion, one of the best boxers of his generation. Apparently, and I don't know if he's serious, but he says that he puts £1 million on Jake Paul to knock out Anthony Joshua.
Seriously? Jake Paul chins AJ, yes, they fight.
Are you serious?
100%. If they fight, I'm putting £1 million on Jake Paul.
Now, we know, first of all, that Tyson Fury doesn't really like Anthony Joshua. So maybe he's just saying that. Maybe he's talking shit. Or has he really put £1 million on? Because if he has, I want to see that betting slip. And could you imagine if it came in? I don't know what the odds on Jake Paul knocking him out are, but they're going to be pretty big.
From Bisping's perspective, those takes stretch credibility when weighed against Joshua's Olympic pedigree, elite-level experience, and proven performances against top heavyweights. The optimism around Paul feels misplaced. While Bisping acknowledged that Paul has improved, carries power, and deserves credit for taking dangerous matchups, he framed the hype as evidence of how distorted modern boxing conversation has become. He emphasized that Joshua isn't just a big name. He's a seasoned heavyweight with speed, timing, and fight-ending power Paul has never faced. Citing Joshua's decisive knockout of Francis Ngannou, Bisping rejected the idea that AJ would need to fight cautiously or avoid exchanges.
Anthony Joshua to have to dance around the ring, get on his bike, play cat and mouse, dancing around, pick his shots and stick and move. No way. Remember what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia? He stood there, toe to toe, waited for the opening, threw a right hand. It was like absolute lightning and the power was crippling. Every single right hand that Anthony Joshua threw, he dropped Francis Ngannou, who is a gigantic human being who does have truly one-punch knockout power, as we know.
I need to knock him out.
I like that.
So Mighty Mouse, love you, bro, but what on earth are you talking about?
Addressing speculation about the fight being staged or softened by hidden agreements, Bisping leaned on Eddie Hearn's firm denials and the legal realities of professional boxing. He stressed that the regulatory and reputational fallout would be catastrophic if such claims were true. From his standpoint, the conclusion was simple. While the spectacle drives attention, this remains a real fight with real danger, and if anyone misjudges the gap between hype and heavyweight reality, it won't be Anthony Joshua. When you step back and look at everything together, Joshua's locked-in camp, Paul's defensive-minded preparation, TalkSport's skepticism, and Bisping's outright dismissal of upset talk, a clear picture forms. This fight is being sold as spectacle, but it's built on very real heavyweight consequences.
Suggestions that the fight might be fixed, but also from people in the boxing world that look at this as a spectacle and look at this as a circus, a sideshow, a freak show attraction, and also something that is extremely dangerous. Because if this is a real fight, and apparently it is, so we'll go with that, there's a very good chance that somebody gets hurt. And I'm sorry to say, because I love Mighty Mouse, it ain't going to be Anthony Joshua.
I mean, we seen the Mike Tyson. That was all fun. That was cute. You know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff. But now you're dealing with a real professional, you know. And so we'll see how it ends up you know, like I said.
From where I'm sitting, and where you're likely watching, this feels less like a 50-50 mystery and more like a test of how long Jake Paul can manage danger before heavyweight reality closes in. My prediction, Anthony Joshua by early stoppage, not because Jake Paul lacks courage, but because boxing has a brutal way of reminding everyone that levels exist. And at heavyweight, those lessons arrive fast and without apology. This fight sits at the intersection of ambition, business, and reality. Joshua is approaching it like a professional assignment. Jake Paul is stepping into the most dangerous test of his boxing life. And across the sport, the message is consistent. Hype can't outrun physics forever. Now I want to hear from you. Is there something we're overlooking with Jake Paul? Or does this end the way most heavyweight mismatches do once the bell rings? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.